Keychain.
Alright guys, I don't make videos like this usually, but if you know anything about me, the Katamari series is my absolute favorite video game series, or really piece of media, franchise ever, right? I love it so much. So today was the Nintendo Direct, right? As of, what is it today? The 8th day of the second month, which is the 8th of February, right? We're in February. There was a Nintendo Direct today, and guess what? They announced, and I had a feeling they would announce this because a few months ago, they had the trademark for this title dropped and leaked. When I saw the Direct, I was like, they're going to announce it today. And they did. They did announce it today. Okay, so we're going to watch two videos today. Full disclosure, I have already seen the two of these, but only once through. Today, we're going to watch through them, right? We're going to react to them, and then we're going to look closely at each one. First, we're going to start with the first one today, which was the announcement trailer for the Switch one, right? The one that was in all those things that kind of flash by, all those lesser titles, I guess, that aren't Nintendo's IPs. To me, this was the biggest deal, right? Of course, because it's huge Katamari fan, right? So this is really important to me. Let's watch it. Whoa! You can see me, so I apologize for my appearance, but it was a really big deal. All right.
Keep it rolling. Run around and collect rules of objects in this remaster of We Love Katamari. Roll in a classroom, a zoo, and
that's so nice. The visuals are really nice.
New features include playing as the young king of all cosmos in 5
upscaled
new
cutscenes. No, they're not upscaled. I think they're just recreated.
And taking photos with a selfie camera.
Okay, that's cool.
We Love Katamari REROLL plus
I love that new art.
Nintendo Switch June 2nd. In addition, active Nintendo Switch Online members can play a free game trial of Katamari Damacy REROLL.
The original, or not the original game, but the remake of the original there. Okay, so let's kind of jump into this a little bit. Here we have, it looks like a time trial for the first, this is as fast as possible one. The first level, the time trial version of it. Nothing too crazy here. So I think the biggest thing is up here, the font is different, but that was the case for Katamari REROLL, so no surprises there. The bottom left there, I think the font is actually a little closer to the original game, so the original We Love Katamari, I should say. Okay, so this is from the opening cutscene. You can see at the bottom right, there's a hold to skip. That was not there in the original. So that's a new dialogue there that they've added. I guess when you play this would happen in the original too. You could accidentally skip the cutscene, which I don't like. This is a great cutscene, even though it's it's specifically the opening movie. You could accidentally skip it by pressing the X button on the PS2 controller. You would completely miss out as miss out on this beautiful presentation of what Katamari is all about as a first-time player. You'd completely miss it. So I'm glad that is. I'm assuming that's what that is, right? You can no longer just press a button to skip the cutscene, which could be annoying for if you're starting it up for the first time, but for not the first time is what I mean. But still a nice addition, I think.
We Love Katamari.
Wow. Yep, one of the first few scenes I can see. I wonder how they were able to remake this. Maybe they had the original kind of art and they just remade it. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So this is as large as possible school, right? School as large as possible, not the students one. There's 2 levels that take place in this world, I guess. But this is the one where you have to actually build size. This is the you have to roll up animals level here. It says 91 friends up here because the premise of the level is that this, I guess, is the dog. They want to make a lot of friends. And so he's asking the prince to roll him some friends up. That's sort of the context of this level. Bottom left, right, we can see the something's coming here. That's a sort of new alert there from Katamari REROLL. It used to say something like watch out or look out. But now it clearly says something's coming to make it pretty clear. I kind of don't like how it takes up a lot of real estate lower left, but I guess because we're in widescreen, the original was in 4:3. Because when we're widescreen, you have a little bit of leeway for the UI elements here to be a little bit bigger and a little bit more concise, right? This tells you clearly why there's this sound it's red, and it tells you like there's something moving behind you. I think in this case it's this elephant here in the bottom left, right? But in any case, that's what the deal with this level. So this is the final level of the game. Final sort of like closing level. Your aim here is not to be as large as possible. Your aim here is to roll up the sun. When you do that, it triggers the end credits. This level happens also like really early on as well to kind of introduce you to this goal, this being the end game. It's an automatic fail condition, but that's what this level is, and I'm pretty sure this is the late game one. I could be wrong, but that's the late game one. Again, the opening cutscene. Now this is the cool. This was super cool when I first saw this. This was not in the original game. This is part of the Royal Reverie thing, which is so awesome. This is a completely new level. I can see there's like a rainbow back there. I wonder what that is. This is a completely new, I don't know, completely new. Maybe this is based on the bedroom level that you'll see in the 100 items challenge, or the 100 items challenge, or make Saturn, the small make Saturn stage.
New challenges.
This is also, this being sunset here is also new, and I'm very curious as to what this 260 CO thing means at the or C0. Water there is very interesting, this water texture, and we'll see this water texture a little bit later in the other trailers as well. This water texture is very interesting to me because this is not how water looked in Wheel of Katamari. In fact, another thing that I want to bring up about what we're seeing so far is that the visuals are definitely revamped. They're very different. I don't know if I like it yet. It's very bright. It's in your face. An interesting choice there. Look at the bottom right of this King model, right? Let's look up King of All Cosmos. It's a very different kind of look to him. This is what he looks like in the cutscenes here, right? That's what the King looks like in the Wheel of Katamari. This is the original Wheel of Katamari screenshot. That's what it looks like in the cutscenes. You see, let's see here. His design's a little bit different. He's still got, the same outfit and everything. His face is the main difference there. His face is quite odd. He's got like square eyes, a square mouth. Now, something to note about the Katamari sort of redesign for the reroll stuff is that the Prince design has originally looked. This is from this is a beautiful Katamari art here. You can see the Prince design, and all the cousins for that matter. Their face, it looks this way: eyes slanted inward, triangle nose, mouth can be whatever, square a little bit. This is the new Prince here. Yeah, so this is the new Prince. This is what the Prince looks like in Katamari Damacy REROLL. We saw this design first in the mobile games. Not I Love Katamari and Katamari More, but the mobile games that came after that, which was Tap My Katamari and Amazing Katamari Damacy. Amazing Katamari Damacy was an endless roller. You can't play it anymore. It was taken off all the app stores. Tap My Katamari is same deal. Tap My Katamari is an idle game. But those you just keep clicking, that kind of thing. But both of those games had this new revamped style. I'm still a little bit critical of it. I don't really like it. I think it took away, it rounded the cousins a little too much. But I'm not, it's not a deal breaker at all. So that could kind of explain why the King's model looks like that, is sort of maybe taking cues from the sort of redesign that all the cousins underwent. Because if you look at like all the cousins from, like, let's say trailer this is a screenshot from a trailer from REROLL, you can see they all have this design now, this sort of revamped, smoothed out kind of cartoony edge to them now. They were always cartoony, but this is particularly cartoony. You can see it in sort of the way that the shine in their antenna, the tips of the antennas is illustrated there. So, a bit of a tangent there. Maybe that's why the King looks like that. Sort of, maybe he has a new redesign in the cutscenes. We'll see. Also, I want to point this out. We'll see this Katamari later on, but this maybe, I believe this Katamari this is the Katamari that's assigned to young King of All Cosmos, right? So maybe it's possible that we'll see more of that. We can definitely see those in the cutscenes of the actual game. We'll see that later on.
And And taking
This one is cool, I think, because staple of the Katamari series is the camera present. Once you get the camera present, you can just take pictures basically everywhere, right? But you could only take pictures of things above you, like if you fly up and do the royal look, or I think that's what it's called, and then from your point of view, like down on the ground, as if you stood on top of the Katamari that you're rolling, and you took a picture from there. Those are the only two perspectives you have. Now, this is really cool. They're throwing in the sort of selfie mode there, which this is the first for the series, which is really cool. I think this adds a lot of character to why you would want to use the camera thing. You maybe take pictures of something. Now, I don't know what the deal with this here is. This is Blinky from Pac-Man. I'm not sure what the deal with maybe this is like part of one of the challenges. Maybe this is like a new feature of the game. You kind of snap a selfie with each of these cool little stickers you'll find in each level. Not sure what the deal with that is, but should be exciting nonetheless. I want to note the Prince down there on the right. He's got the sort of his model has like the selfie stick kind of thing, which is really nice touch there. You'll see that the Prince here is wearing your goggles and a snorkel. I don't believe this is a present. I believe this just is conditional upon the Prince being underwater. By the way, speaking of it, from the looks of it, we are in the underwater level. This is specifically a level, and this is a world that exists only for this level. It's like specifically just rolling mostly underwater, right? I think that's what level this is, because we can kind of see on the left side there's sort of the cliffs there, and according to judging from the tint, these are the cliffs that sort of line or sort of delineate the borders or the bounds of this underwater level here. These fish here that you see on the above the Prince and to the right of the Prince, those also look like they're kind of part of the goggles and the snorkel kind of model there. Same with the bubbles here on the top right. I think those are just sort of effect kind of items there. But yeah,
and taking photos with a selfie camera.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so that kind of confirms what I thought. The red ghost from Pac-Man disappeared. Snapping the pic, it looks like it's something that you collected, right? Katamari is all about collecting, so this is cool. Prince making a nice facial expression there. I don't know if that was like after you took the picture or if it could cycle through them, but still cool, right? And the squid back there, yes, this is definitely the underwater level.
Katamari.
So I mentioned this, I touched on this a little bit earlier. That's the cool new art. This is a new thing for We Love Katamari. So we've never seen this art before. This is new created specifically for the game. That's pretty neat, actually. I've never seen the Prince drawn with such expression before. This is a nice, neat change. It almost reminds me of like some fan art that I've seen before. I wonder what the deal with this Katamari is. Well, I wonder why it's shaped like that. I can't think of anything at the moment as to why, but still cool. And looks like this is just sort of like you can create your mixtape, and then only those songs will play in the levels like that you play in. So it should be interesting.
REROLL plus Royal Reverie.
Here we have co-op, right? This is one of the co-op mode in Wheel of Katamari is one of your players controls the left stick, the other player controls the right stick. As you can imagine, it gets chaotic. I've never actually played this mode because I can't even imagine coordinating that. That seems like a nightmare to do. But here, this is the gingerbread house level. We're in the gingerbread house world. There's the witch here. This is the witch that flies around in this level.
Nintendo.
She doesn't have the present. I guess presents are in co-op, so that's not that interesting. Look here, right? Bottom left. If you played the original game, this is Michiru Hoshino. She's the girl who says, "Oh, I feel it in the cosmos." That's what's really fun about sort of Wheel of Katamari, is that you sort of get all these references. You can roll up the Hoshino family, which is cool. I think you could do that in the original game, but it's not as cool. I don't remember it.
June 2nd.
June 2nd. Okay.
Active
So
Nintendo Switch
that's pretty cool. I don't need it. I've already played it. You can see it on my channel. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the Nintendo Direct trailer. But 3 hours ago, they released a longer trailer, which is I didn't see until like a few minutes ago. So I haven't really gotten a chance to dive into this one too much. So here we go. Let's kind of watch. Let's just sit and watch the announcement trailer, the official announcement, full 2:30 announcement trailer. Keep it rolling. Yes, my words exactly. Intro cutscene. Yep. The same as the song at the bottom left. Okay, so this is no longer the intro cutscene. Now we're entering promotional imagery here, promotional animations. Here we have Peso. There's Fumin. There's Johnson. This is Lucha. That's Odeko. This is Ichigo. That's Nickel. This is Shikao. In terms of the fans we have here, this is the underwater floaty guy. That's how you can access the underwater level that we saw earlier in the scene where the prince was taking a selfie with the Pac-Man ghost. I don't recognize this one. This one's interesting. Maybe it's a new one. I don't know. This is the Ikebana girl. She's the one who we haven't seen it in this trailer, but there's a flower stage where you have to roll up a lot of flowers. This is the first guy that you will see in the select meta. This is the tutorial guy, the soccer dude. So to access the tutorial level here, we have the lazy guy. This is make a star, or not make a star, as large as possible / as fast as possible. 3 or 2, I forget. But he's the second level there, second or third, I don't know. Here, let's see. So there's Shika on the left. I think this is actually looks like this is the left side of one larger panoramic kind of promotional image. Again, there's a lazy guy's thing there. Let's see here. Over here to the right, all the way on the right. Let's start from the right, going to the left. On the right, you have Velvet. Here we have June. Now, what's interesting about June here is that we have June in her original design. This is the very first design that she had from the first game, Katamari Damacy, and also in Katamari Damacy REROLL, it's the same. You have Fujio, right, with his post Wheel of Katamari design with the mustache. In the first game, he did not have a mustache. Going to the left, we have Honey, which reflects actually her first design, the Katamari Damacy design. In later games, she had like another sort of bulbous thing here coming out on the side of her head. So this is her Katamari Damacy design. Here, this colorful friend we have Marcy, which is her Wheel of Katamari and Onward design here with all the multicolors. In the original game, she was just purple. Interestingly, in Katamari Damacy REROLL, she kept this Wheel of Katamari design with all the colors. Behind Marcy, we have Columbo, and this Columbo is the Wheel of Katamari design, the very shaggy kind of appearance. To the left here, going on this way, we have Nick, who it appears sort of has sort of a blend between the different designs. Nick has horns there on the side of his head. Are, I think, his Katamari Damacy design, a lot softer, but sort of the fact that he has cheeks on his face, as well as his like wider kind of figure, kind of draws the design from Wheel of Katamari. Over here we have Havana. Her head's kind of small, so this is kind of her Katamari Damacy design here. Her head was way shorter than it now is, or at least in later games it was. In the original Wheel of Katamari, actually, her head was a lot sort of wider, sort of longer. In terms of people we have here, right back here, this is starting from left side, right? This is the Save the Pandas guy. He's the fan who takes you into the Save the Pandas level where you have to raise money to save the red pandas, specifically. Going to the right, we have the mom. This is for the 100 items challenge, or not 100 items challenge, sorry, the cleaning your room challenge there. Over to here to the right, I believe this is actually the second, this is as far as large / as fast as possible 2. Over here we have the wise guy, so this is like as fast as possible / as large as possible 5 or 4, I think. Definitely a later game. He's the guy who, when you talk to him, he's like, oh, my son loves Katamari Damacy. Going to the right, let's go to the right of Nick here. This is the origami person. Their story is that they want to collect, your challenge is to collect as many cranes as possible, but to super clear it, you have to get 1,000. They specifically ask for I want 1,000 cranes to send to my friend who's sick in the hospital. Touching story, right? Let's go to the right of Columbo here. This is the sumo guy, right? One of the most interesting levels in the game. Sumo level, you actually roll him, right? He needs to eat a lot to gain size. Obviously, look at him right now. He's not a very big sumo guy, but the point is, you roll him, he absorbs all the food, he grows, and you have to, by the end of the level, defeat the sumo wrestler challenger there. And to the right, we have the raincoat girl. To the right here, this is the father of the Hoshino family. He's an astronaut. In the original game, he's the guy who shouts, called off, the moon's gone, right? That's him there. In Wheel of Katamari, he's actually a post-game level. You go to him to play this level called Save the Earth. There's an asteroid on a direct collision course to Earth, and your job is to roll up all the countries. This is sort of based on the closing end credits of the original game. Your job is to roll up all the countries, get as big as you can by rolling up all the countries so that you can roll up the asteroid that's about to hit Earth, right? I think that pretty much explains everything. Interesting thing I want to note here at the top left, let's look at that king there. His head, I believe that's his Katamari Damacy kind of head design, mostly purple. In the Wheel of Katamari design for his head, it's a lot more orange, a lot more blue. Let's kind of move on here. Right, there you go. So I was right. It is sort of a larger kind of image there. I still don't know who this is, or for that matter, whoever that is, but could be new content. We'll see. We will see. Here we have Daisy up the front, right, getting rolled up. Here is the king as a kid, right? This is kid version. Cool. So this is the cleanup of the room kind of level. There's L'Amour there, right there. So glad to see that cousins are still in their original locations.
We Love Katamari is back and new.
Yeah, so this is as large as possible 6, I think.
Remastered. Roll it.
Here's the school level, but not where you have to roll up all the students, just you're getting as big as you can in the school.
Roll it in.
This is the friends level once again.
Make.
This looks like the same level as before with the same kind of condition there. So, let's see if I missed anything here.
Make.
Nope. Another thing that I want to point out, in the original game, or in Katamari Damacy, sorry, when you rolled up a new item, it wouldn't tell you whether or not you've already rolled it up, or that is to say, it wouldn't tell you if it wasn't in your collection already. In this game, in the original, right, the text would turn rainbow colored if it was an item that you had not previously collected, which is really useful to have because it sort of tells you, gives you an indication, especially if you're trying to go for 100% collection, it gives you an indication, oh yes, this is an item that you were looking for, which is really nice. And I'm glad to see that they brought it back. I would have been upset if they didn't.
Make your Katamari bigger. Take control of
same
the
gingerbread level here.
And roll up this.
This is the same as large as possible level. Now, back to the water texture. This is what's in. There's some weird graphical stuff there. I don't know what the deal with that is. Sort of the shader map or like normal maps are kind of weird here. I don't know if I like that. The water does not look very watery. It looks like a kind of tatami mat or something.
And the whole world.
Let's see. Oh, we had a whole bunch of cousins here. This planet here, by the way, this is the first planet. This is what the tutorial planet looks like when the king throws it up to the sky. Let's name all the cousins here. We have, starting with the prince, right? We're gonna go clockwise here. We have Johnson, Odeko, we've seen them already. We have Marnie, right? Not to be confused with Marcy, who is over here. Marnie, Columbo, Kuro, right? His name means black, right? Here we have Fumin. Now, interestingly, Fumin has the sort of Katamari Damacy design. Her two kind of things there are quite short, as they were in the original. In Katamari Damacy, that is to say, in Wheel of Katamari, they were elongated a little bit more. Maybe that'll reflect in the actual game, but we'll see. Next we have Twinkle. Then we have Huey. Then we have Macho. Then we have Odeon. Then we have Shy. Then we have Slip. Then we have Marcy. Then we have Velvet. Jungle, who's also one of my favorites, right? This kind of design on Jungle is supposed to represent like a camouflage kind of look. This is how Jungle looks in the select meta, but when in the actual game, Jungle's texture is derived from like whatever's on the screen at the moment, which is really cool. I really like that. Jungle, as in like he's blending in camouflage. In the original, actually, Jungle did not look like that. He didn't have that cool effect. Jungle actually just had a camo print, which is probably how Jungle got his name first, but then eventually getting that cool little, quite literally camouflaging behind whatever is behind him, like a chameleon, right? Havana again, and this interesting cool little cousin with 3 faces, Signalo, also one of my favorites. Ooh, here we have again Raincoat Girl, which is interesting. I could be wrong. Oh, sorry, no, I made a mistake. This person here is not Raincoat Girl. That's not Raincoat Girl, that's Snowman Girl. So she's the level where you can build a snowman. Right, so we have the Sumo again, and here to the left we have Hula Hoop Girl. She is the category of stages we call Make It Right. If you remember from the original game, from Katamari Damacy, sorry. There was a level, the North Star level, you had to get it exactly at 10 meters. Hula Hoop Girl, her levels are pretty much the same. She has 3 levels attached to her, small, medium, and large. You basically have to get to an exact size without seeing the diameter indication on the top left of your screen, which is a tough challenge, right? But surely makes for a lot of replay value if you want to super clear it. If Daisy on some food. Campfire Dude there. Raincoat Girl. Old Lady, she's one of the as large as possible. Fans, I guess. One cousin we haven't seen before here, or 2 cousins we haven't seen before here are Opio. There's a little hole in his chest there. And Ace, right? Some of you who've been following me will know that Ace is my favorite cousin. Let's see. What's interesting to note here is all the fans here, they have their in-game designs, so that's why their faces are so pixelated. This is sort of the Katamari person style. That's their in-game design, so it's just really interesting that they would use that. This is the clean up your room level again.
Roll by yourself. Roll with a friend.
Co-op, and this is from the first level there.
Roll versus
This is the versus mode. I've also never played this.
foe.
You can ram into each other as we see here. We have Dip versus Marnie here. And you can see some of the humor of Katamari is like the item placement. Someone made a face. These are letters from the Hollywood sign, but someone made a face out of it.
Grow your
Really cool. This is again the as fast as possible. This one here is an interesting indicator. Up here at the diameter indicator, this is a new feature. This tells you what the next milestone is, or the next kind of like level up thing, because that was a little bit abstract, something that you kind of had to learn in the original, and even Katamari Damacy REROLL. You don't really get that indication here. This tells, so in this level, right, we have already passed the, as we see on the screen, already passed the 3 meter mark, which are these blue cones here. So I'm sure elsewhere on the Katamari there's also the actual 3 meter sign, but we don't see that here in this frame. This up here, the orange and light orange and dark orange or red cone here is the 12 meter cone. This is color for the 12 meters, and that's why it says 12 meters up there. That's sort of the next kind of milestone to unlock the larger area. I guess that's what that's telling you. That's like telling you, okay, this next milestone you have to hit. New addition into the game. We'll see it a little bit later, but in some parts of this, especially when you get really big, and like the amount of the world you can explore is quite large, it can be hard to find where this this boundary is, because these are physical boundaries actually that you have to roll over to unlock larger areas. We'll see a cool new navigation kind of feature that they've added here in a little bit.
Your fans and the king will love.
But before that, we are greeted to the level completion kind of screen. Like once the king you finish the level and the king kind of This is the ceremony of like throwing her up into the sky. Hugely updated graphics here. I've never seen the Wheel of Katamari King in such high resolution before, which is quite interesting here, right? Really clean looking, right? Right, this is the gingerbread house level. Actually, I think we actually saw them a little bit earlier here. Yep, that's them here in the background. That's the gingerbread house. That's Hansel and Gretel, actually. In lore, that's who they are. We see that the in-game dialogue text is very different here, right? The original is something a little bit more cartoony, a little bit more rounded. Here we have a serif kind of font, very sharp corners. This G is it's almost like Gil Sans, I want to say.
King will love it.
But it's not Gil Sans. I know it's not Gil Sans, but it's sort of like that humanist style of typeface.
But if you fail...
This is a different typeface. This is the same typeface that we see in like the diameter indicator at the top left, which is really interesting. The King's kind of typeface is a little different than the fans, which was not the case in the original.
You'll face...
Oh, interesting. So the King's here is also the same, right? This is not the same one as we see here, which is an interesting design choice. Here we get to look into a little bit of how the cutscenes look.
Even the king of all cosmos.
So some of the cutscenes the cutscene stories that we get in Wheel of Katamari are about the king's past here, right?
Knows had a tough past.
There's that Katamari again that we saw in the I don't know if it was the previous trailer. We got to see a little bit of like what the king levels look like. This is his Katamari, right?
Filled with a strict discipline and fear.
Interestingly, his design here is still the older design, right? With the sharper, slanted eyes. I think in-game, he does not look like this. He's got those square eyes, right?
And fierce training.
His father here. Now, this is the part that I was really into when we get in a later bit on. I'll show you.
His own father. Royal.
So this is the Royal Reverie part, right? This is sort of the bonus content here, which is really interesting.
Reverie.
We've not seen, this is completely new.
New challenges have been added.
Right, new challenges are because they're the same levels that we saw before with this rainbow room. This is I think that same or clean up the room kind of room there.
Work.
Here, this is the racetrack, and this is the same kind of racetrack level that we saw in the previous trailer here. So no need to comment any further.
Become the great king of all cosmos.
Now, this is the interesting thing here. Up here, I think this is the first time that I've seen in any of the Katamari games, and younger me would have loved this, would have been all over this, because I had actually wished for be a game to kind of explore the king's past a little bit, and for the king's father, the emperor, to be a little bit more present here. And look, here we get it, right? And it looks like we're in the zoo level here, but you have to pick up ballerinas. It looks like I don't know. But this is the first game where the king's father really talks to you, I think, which is interesting.
Can the young king rise to the top?
Now, interesting here, we have different text here. This looks like a Japanese typeface that just has English support stuff in it. I don't know why I say that. I think it reminds me of a font that I'd seen before. This is interesting. We're in the school level here. You see the blackboard there. This is an interesting premise for a level. And this Katamari that the King's rolling is also very unique. We've never seen this design before. Interesting concept. There's ghosts and stuff, but you have to roll and avoid all the ghosts. Interesting. It reminds me of a concept that you would have seen in Touched by Katamari. So there's that selfie mode that we saw in the previous thing before. Again, there's another sprite here. I think that's what the deal here is. I wonder what this think thing here means. I don't know what that means, think. But this is a sprite. Maybe part of a mini game that you can play throughout as you go through the levels is sort of collecting these stickers. And it looks like we're in the snowman level, according to these pine trees here.
Bring your camera.
Yep, that mammoth back there confirms it. We're in the snowman level.
While you roll, and
so Dragon Spirit, yeah, I think it's interesting. Interesting kind of. Oh yes, you can pick an expression, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I dig that. This is the same kind of. I think this is the same gameplay footage we saw a little bit earlier in the Nintendo trailer, where you're taking a selfie with the red ghost from Pac-Man.
Selfie.
in the underwater level, right?
Rock and roll to your own
Favorite
personal
BGM thing?
set list.
You saw that?
Favorite BGM. And even more.
So this is that improved navigation thing I was talking about. This is the cone for 60 meters. Right, we could see it right there. It kind of tells you, hey, that's where the next area is, which is really useful, I think, especially for new players who are not really familiar with sort of the world of Wheel of Katamari and like how to navigate and where everything is. There's the Hollywood side over there, very American themed, because this level, once you pass this, you technically enter the America portion. So you'll see like characters of Florida, you see characters of the West Coast as well as New York. It's kind of all amalgamated into like one America land, which is kind of funny. But that is, again, just really useful. Here we can see those like estates. There's like, and there's also the White House there, right?
That will keep you rolling on.
Cool. This is the looks like
on.
this is the first insight we get into what the select menu looks like.
Rolling.
And it looks like there's like new kind of UI improvements, which is always welcome. Like ways you can shortcut to get to like the levels you want to go to, right? So that's cool. Down here we have some options here for literal memory. Like I'm confused about that. I'm curious what that is. Let's see. There's jungle. Here we have a cousin we haven't seen before, La La La. They are using the Wheel of Katamari design and onward, where she's tanned. Now there's a few things that I want to point out here that I'm noticing. First is, well, before we talk about this thing in the middle looks like a lightning rod, right? As we kind of go on, and let's kind of go back a little bit, it's sort of like sparking lightning. That was not in the original game. That could be one of the new challenges. Interesting. We'll see what the deal there is. Over here in the top left, these are the normal indicators for like when you start to talk to. Oh, I see. So this is the select screen, and this is telling you this information here belongs to this, right? So 87 meters is the target size for the underwater. They're calling it pond. For Floaty Boy, I guess that's his official name now. And Marnie is the cousin for that level. There's a present in there. It's on the back of the swan. But there's these two new icons here. I'm assuming that these are the sprites that you can collect that we use to take selfies with. So I guess one of them would be the red ghost from Pac-Man.
On and on.
Dog. All right. And when we select a dog, the dog is the sun level, the final level of the game, that before the credits. And then that tells you like what the goal there is. So this is really cool. The original game did not have Eternal mode, which is kind of a staple for the series. Eternal mode is basically like no time limit there, right? You can roll around, no time limit, but your Katamari will not be saved, I guess. It won't be like thrown up in the sky. Although I think your collected items will be counted as collected, which is cool for 100% runners. It looks like we are in the last level here of, I guess, bird and elephant level, which is as large as possible, 6. It looks like we're in here. 300 meters, that looks like that pointed to the next milestone, which you'll notice doesn't have a cone, because 300 meters actually in this doesn't have a cone. 300 meters is the final milestone and unlocks everything. So that's interesting that the way they've kind of delineated that.
Dads love Katamari, moms
Zoo level here.
love
right?
Katamari. Grandpas and grandmas love Katamari.
Yeah, nothing we haven't seen before.
Friends and teachers love Katamari.
Let's see, is there anything kind of intriguing here that we want to kind of take a look at? Flower level. This is one of the new challenges, the ghost thing. This is also one of the Royal Reverie stages. So it's not looking like they're showing us too much about Royal Reverie. So we have this ballerina stage, whatever that is. We have this racetrack stage. We have this ghost stage, and actually these two look like they're the same. They're both racetrack.
Teachers love Katamari.
Is there anything here?
Teachers love
This largest. Ooh, so that's interesting here. So in the Katamari games, there's always an opening monologue, but before each level, we get the king's father has an opening monologue, which is, really nice touch there. Shows they put in a lot of effort into this one, which is always welcome. A little bit of cutscene there from the beginning there. This is a shot from the final cutscene of the game. I think that's mostly it. I think there's not much else to point out.
This kid, that kid here, kids. We love Katamari REROLL Plus. Royal Reverie!
Yeah, so that's pretty much the trailer there.
Thank you.
On sale June 2nd.
Now this is what I want to get. We love Katamari REROLL Special Edition. I really want this. Because this would be awesome. It's interesting that this Little King and Little Prince accessory, it's interesting that they're now paywalling those presents. Those presents were in the game. Interesting. I don't know the deal with that is, but yeah, here, this little thing here, the Katamari Damacy series music pack, I really want this. I want to be able to roll. That's something I always wanted in the original of Katamari, is to be able to listen to background music from, the other games, right? So this is going to be cool. Now, this is 25 BGM songs from the Katamari Damacy series. Does that mean they're only from Katamari Damacy, or are we going to cover the whole gamut of the games that have come out? I'd like it to be the latter. That would be awesome. But if it's just the former, that's totally cool. At least we got something, right? Which leads me to another question that I have after seeing this. And let me just make myself kind of full screen here. So, hello. I'm really excited for this, first of all. This is awesome. We Love Katamari is my favorite game of the series, and I'm so glad it's finally getting a remaster. My question, though, is a one kind of minor question. In the original, this is one of my favorite features ever. In the original, this is just a minor feature, but if you had Katamari Damacy game data on your memory card, on the PS2 memory card, you would be able to load that in on We Love Katamari, and some of the planets and stuff, all the stuff that you kind of did and made, would show up in that final level where you roll in space. So you'd be able to roll up the stars that you made in the last game. Such a small, minor thing, and doesn't really impact gameplay too much, but it's a really neat touch, and I would really like to see some kind of implementation of that. I know it might be a little difficult to kind of do that, but there have been games before that are able to kind of look at your other games, like what you might have installed. So that would be neat. That would be really neat. Maybe they look at your Steam cloud. If you're on Steam, maybe if you're on Switch, they can look at your save data that you have on the system. That would be really cool implementation, but it's kind of wishful thinking. I understand why they wouldn't, kind of carry that over into the modern gen. It's a little bit of an antiquated concept, right? Where if they're something similar that I can think of that's a bit more known is if you played Mario Kart Wii and you had Mario Galaxy save data, you could unlock Rosalina, right? And that's a cool, kind of thing there, but we'll see. June 2nd. I'm really excited for June 2nd. I'm marking that on my calendar as the day to make sure I'm assuming the special edition will be $60. Because Katamari REROLL was $30 on launch, and this is not a AAA title. I'm hoping it's just $60 for the special edition, and yes, I'm willing to shell out $60 for the special edition. I'm a Katamari shill, man. If there was any kind of series I would shill for, it's Katamari, right? Yeah, this just brings me a lot of hope for the future of the franchise. I think Katamari as an IP really needs to kind of come back in. And I think moving on from this, I don't think there's any other game that they're going to remaster. They better not, because me and my Katamari remaster would not be warranted. Maybe a beautiful Katamari remaster, but we already have that on HD consoles. You can play that on Xbox. I have it on the Xbox Series X. I don't need a remaster for it, right? I just hope they make new games that are not touched by Katamari. It's like that game was not good. It was not a good Katamari game. I think when that game came out, it was sort of spelled the end, just why there was that big hiatus between 2011 and I guess 2018 for true Katamari games. So hopefully this kind of rings in a new era for Katamari. Whether or not it has involvement from Keita Takahashi, who knows? That would be cool, but I know his kind of stance on creating sequels, right? He didn't want to create We Love Katamari, and by the time me and my Katamari rolled around, no pun intended, by the time it rolled around, it was no longer involved. So we'll see. But I do have hope for the Katamari franchise. Hopefully this is not the sort of swan song. This is not a swan song. I hope not. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. I'm hype. You might not see it, but I'm pretty hype. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about everything here, about me, and my chance to kind of nerd out a little bit on Katamari. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and catch you in the next one.